If the U.S. decides not to fund Ukraine, the U.S. will be in a weaker position in terms of dealing with our allies in Europe and indeed our standing in the world. The Republicans have their demands, and it's quite clear that from a political standpoint, those demands are popular amongst their constituencies. So Biden will have to somehow break this impasse and get both sides on board if the aid will be processed and approved. The question of EU accession now takes on more relevance in light of the fact that the U.S. may decide not to support Ukraine going forward. Indeed, if the United States decides to back out of support, Ukraine will rely even more on the support of the European Union, with the caveat that the EU probably doesn't have the weaponry that the United States has to support Ukraine. In Putin's call-in show today, he was practically gloating over the fact that the United States may decide not to support Ukraine anymore. And any victory for Vladimir Putin in this conflict will have dire consequences for Ukraine, but also the credibility of the United States. The argument is that we're spending too much money on Ukraine. But in fact, most of the money is being spent in the United States, especially in terms of the military money. So that the idea that somehow Ukraine is basically getting extra money in this fight is really not true. It is important to emphasize just how successful Ukraine has been in this war. It has degraded the Russian army to a remarkable degree, and it will take years for Russia to rebuild its forces, even if the war were to stop today.